What's up, everybody? This is That Brown Bat back for another mod. This is not a tutorial, this is an update. Alright, as a request from Login Productions, I was attempting to mod Boba Fett into his daddy, Jango. And some weird things happen. Okay? So, I'm going to show you those weird things. Alright, so first, take a look. Alright, Boba Fett has two boots. Both of them are tan, or light brown, if you will. Okay? Alright, so I got his files here. So you see a normal map, a normal map. This is the normal map for his cape. That's the normal map for his body parts. Here are his body parts, and here is the texture for the cape. So, okay, I don't think you can see my mouse, so let me open this up in Photoshop. All right, this is what I was working on for Jango, and it's all Jangoed. You'll see in a second. All right, so here is the project I was working on. So everything is divided out. So you see right here. See right here? I'm moving it around. Alright. That is the boot. That is Boba Fett's boot. There's one boot. Okay? One boot. Why is there one boot? Because you only need one boot. Because both feet are the same. You just reverse it when you unwrap it, and then both feet use the same texture. And same thing with a normal map. Okay, so the gloves and all that. Alright, so let me hide all that. So this is it, right, without it unwrapped, right? So if I take this without anything else, okay, and just save this as a DDS file. And this is how I do this with everything else. So Boba Fett shouldn't be any different than anyone else. So this is unaltered. All it is I ran it through Photoshop, didn't touch it. Because see, I closed off all the other layers. As a matter of fact, let me cancel that just to prove a point. You say, oh, all the layers are still there. All right, so let me duplicate this. All right, so let me just delete all the layers. Delete layers. And now all we have is this. Okay, so I'm going to shoot two birds with one stone here, even though this is going to be messed up. This is not how everything else works. So File, Save As, DDS. I'm going to override this file that I've been using trying to get Jango Fett to work, and it doesn't. You'll see in a while and why. Alright, so I'm going to try it two ways. I'm going to try DXT3, which is I've been using for everything else. Okay, in this case there's no transparency because I have no transparent objects on there. But we will. Alright, so where is he? So it's the mod one. So I'm just going to move that over here. And then I'm going to delete the old one that I was working on. Rename this one to the T-Body. A T-Body is Disney Infinity's name for a DDS. I don't know why they did that, but they did. But anyway, now I'm going to move that new one, which looks identical to the old one, the original. See, it looks identical to the original. All this one is renamed DDS. This is the original. This is, and you can see the file size difference. 1 meg versus 682 kilobytes. So 1 meg versus half a meg. So I'm just going to take this one. The only difference is it ran through the Adobe filter. Textures, paste, and I'm going to override it in the textures file. And then I'm going to reboot or reload the game. Now you're supposed to see, and I don't know why, but you're going to see a change in saturation.
I'm Boba Fett. Now, we have work to do.
That's a given.
Nothing stops Boba Fett.
The problem is not the saturation part. It's the texture mapping. All right. I don't know if you can see right close the boot. Maybe not. I don't know if it's going to pick it up, but I'll fix that. I've seen people post, how come when I change my texture, when I mod my textures and load it into the game, it loses color? You have to enhance your color. I don't know why. I don't know what programs help you, but prevent that, but just the way it is. So I'm going to duplicate this layer. I'm going to hide that. I'm going to take this, but I want you to see that the boot is only on 1 foot. All right, so I'm going to enhance this. I'm going to adjust the saturation by, let's say, 30. Make it brighter. And I'm also going to add another layer on it and make it all black. And then I'm going to change the opacity to 60 or 70. Now, is it going to be identical? No, but it's going to be pretty close as far as tone goes. But you're going to see that the texture mapping is way off. Save it as a DDS. I'm going to try this 2 times. I'm going to replace it. I'm going to save it. Again, DXT3. Transparency. Yes, there's transparency now because I put that over. All right. So you can see. I'm guessing it's so you can tell that this is a transparency. And all right, so there's multiple layers in it. Okay, now let's go to do what we did before. I saved it in the backup, so it looks darker, but that's just how it's going to read. And that has nothing to do with the placement of the boot, the cod piece, or the jetpack. All right.
I'm Boba Fett. Now, we have work to do.
All right,
Nothing
so
stops Boba Fett.
you can tell that he's a little bit more brighter, but look at his color palette. It's messed up. Look at his right leg is totally messed up. I mean, it's like he's Two-Face. I mean, his belt only has part of the red texture on it, and it's I don't know why. I have no clue why. So that's where the conundrum went with Jango Fett, trying to find where those pieces went to, and it just came out looking like an utter mess. Before someone says, you have to use DXT5. Let me get this a little bit brighter here, or no, this a little bit darker. What is it, 60? Let's take that to 70. All right, let's try saving this as DXT5, as somebody says. Okay, now it's DXT5. And it's not going to matter. The only thing that's different is I made the alpha a little bit darker. So his color is going to shift a little bit.
Let's go. My time is expensive.
Yeah, so he's darker, not brighter. Same thing, though. It's messed up. Don't know why. I don't know how. Anyway, this is what happens when I put the Jango Fett mod. He looks like he just crawled out of a trash compactor. I don't know. Not that bad, but still.
There is nowhere to hide from me.
Yeah, so I didn't get that far. Number one, I can't get the chrome to look right. But nevertheless, he looks like a kid that can't match his boots because it does not line up. So I don't know. Where do we go now? Where do we go? Wow, where do we go? See, she works.
There is... Do what I say when I say it, and you will remain unharmed.